Hey guys, want to bring you this idea. This is a IBR, a intelligent brake and reverse system for a 2021 Seadoo Spark. So I want to pass this along to you. It was not communicating with the computer at all, and I believe that the motor was bad inside the housing. This particular piece is very expensive. It's like $600 or $800 brand new. Sometimes you can find them used online, but obviously you want to do your best not to put a used part in your ski, at least like this. So I was able to go on Amazon. This is the factory motor that runs the IBR, and it was intermittent working, so I bought a replacement for like 35 bucks. So all of this goes into this housing and it moves this arm. I'll explain it to you in just a minute. But I was able to buy it really cheap compared to what the whole unit cost. Pull this sprocket off, this gear off, and replace it. So I'm putting it back together now just so you can see kind of how it goes back together. It goes now like that. Camden, be quiet, buddy. And obviously this here screws on there like so. Got my boys out here helping me tonight. And then this sits in this housing like so. Then this arm goes in here and threads on that. If I can get it started. Trying to get this thing moved up out of my way. So like I said, this thing here threads onto this piece here, like so. And then when you jump this motor, come to the other side. Moves it back and forth. Then you can reverse them, and so I feel like that was my problem. I'll give you a follow-up if I feel like it's not, but you hook the wires up. Positive is on your right here, and if you actually look, there's actually a positive. There's a red indicator on the aftermarket one, and then also on the factory one. If you see, there's a little red indicator there. Stay right there just a minute. Also, you have to take this nut out of the jet pump area to take this motor out. This actually screws onto this housing here like this and traps between. This comes on the inside of the ski like so. This is outside of the ski, and this nut holds all of this on. I could not find anywhere on the internet that would tell me the size of this nut. So I looked it up and did some measuring, and it is a 41 millimeter. So this may help everyone in the future as you're taking these skis apart, working on these IBRs. I ordered this 21 millimeter long socket in 1/2 inch offline. It was like 25, 28 bucks. So now I got a tool dedicated to that. So for those that are running into IBR problems, You don't have to replace the whole thing. You can just replace this motor. If that's your problem, you may have some kind of other issue, wiring or corrosion or whatever, but if you replace this motor, they're cheap online. I'll put the link down in the description, or put it, you know, if you want to know, I'll send it to you. Just message me and I'll make sure. But as you see, for 30, 35 bucks or whatever this motor was, I can't remember exactly, but somewhere in that ballpark, off Amazon. They shipped it, got it next day, and that seems to be the problem. So like I said, I had to pull this apart. It's got several bolts to it, silicone, because it gets wet and, you know, sits down in your bilge. So you want to seal all that back up. But just a food for thought, save you some money instead of having to spend 500, 600, 800 bucks on this whole brand new IBR. If the motor goes bad, you can replace the motor with a new one for relatively cheap, with all the same specs as the factory, and get you back going again for, you know, a little bit of nothing compared to what you could have spent. And also, like I said, just a reminder, this nut that goes on this IBR that holds it is a 41 millimeter. Haven't found it anywhere. Just want to make sure that people realize that.